They don't print it anymore because it's needlessly confusing. Greetings, you gossamer phantasms. I hope you're doing well. My name is Graham, and this is the Crack-A-Pack here on LRRMTG, brought to you by Card Kingdom. Check out cardkingdom.com/LRR for all of your cardly kingdomly needs. Like how I needs to be opening this pack of Planar Chaos that was given to us by Violet and Robin at MagicCon Vegas 24, specifically one day after our wedding. Congratulations. A year and a half or so later. I hope it was nice. We've never opened Planar Chaos on the show before. I'm excited. The two things I remember about Planar Chaos, having not been an active Magic player at the time, is one, I keep confusing it for Plane Shift. Not like, you know, it's like, oh, and then it was Time Spiral and then Plane Shift, right? No, Planar Chaos was a different one. But also that it has some interesting card frames and like cards that are like transposed from other colors, sort of, kind of. Anyway, it also has slivers, starting with Poultice Sliver. It's 2 and white for a 2/2 sliver that says all slivers have 2 and tap regenerate target sliver. Regenerate is what it's. We've talked about it before on Crack-A-Pack. They don't print it anymore because it's needlessly confusing. So why waste your time? Especially when I can talk about Dead Gone. Dead and Gone. The split cards have an implied and between them. Well, these split cards have an implied and. There were ones on Amonkhet that had an implied to, but these have the implied and. Dead and Gone. Dead is a single red mana for an instant that deals 2 damage to target creature. So it's a shock that can only hit creatures. That's fine. Gone is 2 and a red for an instant. Return target creature you don't control to its owner's hand. In red? Wild. Bounce in red is very neat. Now, these ones, you have to choose. You can only cast one or the other. You don't get to do them both. You don't get to cast one and then do the other one later. You pick. But it's like having 2 cards in the space of one card. Cards. I'm really selling it. I did see someone made a deck where they like cut a bunch of these in half and just made a tiny deck. It was kind of funny. Rip to those cards, I guess. Ridged Kusite. It's a single black mana for a 1/1 horror spell shaper. The spell shapers, you can discard cards to turn them into different effects because they're shaping the spell. Though normally they're like humans and not Kusites. For 1 and a black and tap and discard a card, target creature gets +1/+0 and gains first strike until end of turn. Weird that the black creature is doing like the red combat trick. It really is shaping that spell. It offers but a taste of the power that the shadows have to offer. But even that is a heady wine indeed, says Errata Drabic of Urborg, who got a card. Eventually. Good for them. Erratic Mutation. 2 and a blue for an instant that says, choose target creature. Reveal cards from the top of your library until you reveal a non-land card. That creature gets +X/-X until end of turn, where X is that card's converted mana cost. Put all cards revealed this way on the bottom of your library in any order. And this guy's upper arm got real swole in a real big hurry. So probably shouldn't have done those injections, I guess. Wow, that's unpleasant to look at. Great work. Another sliver. It's the Battering Sliver. 5 and a red for a 4/4. All slivers have trample. Yikes. Trample's a big one. I was like, 6 mana 4/4. Okay, yeah, no, that's fair. That's a real potential game ender. You just say, hey, suddenly they all have trample. Now you'll notice that this is the old sliver templating where it was all slivers. Because everyone had slivers. So this is my slivers have trample and your slivers have trample. Bad news for you, it's my turn and I'm attacking. But your slivers also have regenerate, which doesn't help you if you're dead. But, you know, the point is, it was an interesting gameplay balance that they opted to avoid on account of it's kind of confusing. Pallid Mycoderm, the pale mushroom. Pallid Mycoderm, 3 and a white for a 2/4 fungus. At the beginning of your upkeep, put a spore counter on Pallid Mycoderm. Remove 3 spore counters from Pallid Mycoderm to put a 1/1 green Saproling creature token into play. Sacrifice a Saproling. Each fungus and each Saproling you control gets +1/+1 until end of turn. This was reprinted in Modern Masters, which had a pretty cool, like, spore counters deck that you could draft, and Pallid Mycoderm was, a slow but efficient way to kill your opponent. So pretty cool. A faster way to kill your opponent was Keldon Marauders. 1 and a red for a 3/3 human warrior with Vanishing 2. I'll come back to Vanishing in a moment. It also reads, when Keldon Marauders comes into play or leaves play, it deals 1 damage to target player. So 2 mana 3/3, enters, ping your opponent for 1. Then it just sits there. What's Vanishing do? Great question. This permanent comes into play with 2 time counters on it. At the beginning of your upkeep, remove a time counter from it. When the last is removed, sacrifice it. See, this is the difference between Vanishing and... oh, crap. What's the other one called? Not phasing. It's Vanishing, and Vanishing is you sacrifice it when you take the last counter off. And the other is if you can't take a counter off, then it dies. And it's not Echo. It's like, I know what all these other things do. What is the other one?
I genuinely don't know.
I used to know this. What's wrong with my brain? Fading.
Oh, okay.
We looked it up. It's fading. So yeah, Vanishing is when you take the last counter off, you sacrifice it. And fading is if you can't take a counter off, then you sacrifice it. The only other difference is that Vanishing uses time counters and fading uses fade counters. Unless they've changed that. And time counters was also what happens with Suspend, and one other thing recently used time counters. The trick there is that there are some cards that interact with time counters that can, like, put a time counter on something. Like there's a charm that does something with time counters, so that can interact with Vanishing, but not fading. None of this is relevant. The point is you get to attack with Keldon Marauders once, because they come into play summoning sick, unless they have haste from some outside source. But assuming no outside interference, they come into play, ping for 1, and they're summoning sick. Next turn, you can attack with them. So you're attacking with a 3/3 on turn 3. And then the next turn, in your upkeep, last of 2 time counters comes off it, they die, and ping again on their way out. There you go. This was way too long to spend talking about Keldon Marauders. Although, not all of them can be winners. Dust Corona is a single red mana for a creature enchantment, and the enchanted creature gets +2/+0 and can't be blocked by creatures with flying. So it can only be blocked by most creatures. Great. Healing Leaves. Ah, here we go. Single green mana, choose 1. Target player gains 3 life, or prevent the next 3 damage that would be dealt to target creature or player this turn. With the Shifted Frame, because this is a green healing salve. One of the original, single mana boons, up there with Lightning Bolt and Ancestral Recall. Everyone loves healing salve. So yeah, this was the other thing that, it's like, we've got Giant Growth, but it's red, and we've got healing salve, but it's green. Pretty cool. Revered Dead. 1 and a white for a 1/1 with a single white regenerate Revered Dead, which is Drudge Skeletons? I want to say Drudge Skeletons is 1 and a black for a 1/1 with 1 black regenerate.
Yeah, that is correct.
Yes. So this is the white, it's Planar Chaos. It's Planar Chaos out there, man. Wrathy Trapper. 1 and a black for a 1/2 Human Rebel Rogue with black and tap to tap target creature. I don't know what this one is a Planar Chaos shift thing of, because this is the first time I've ever seen Wrathy Trapper with the alternate frame. Because I've only ever seen Wrathy Trapper, again, reprinted in Modern Masters with the Rebels deck, where they just printed them all with the normal card frames. It's so weird how just like a little change to the color and the background texture makes all these like alternate frame things look very different. I wonder if they're saving this for Mystery Booster 3. I'd like to see some more cards printed in these wacky frames. What's this one? What? I assume it's a white card, but I don't know what the original. I don't know what the reference Wrathy Trapper is here to a 1/2 for 1, and I'm guessing a white and a single white taps. Into the uncommons now. Salt Blast. Ha 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 ha. Are you feeling salty about this game of Magic the Gathering? Ha ha ha. Is it because I destroyed a target non-white permanent for 5 mana at sorcery speed? Yo, this card ain't great. I guess if you have to. Yo, it's my boy Muck Drub. I don't know what a Muck Drub is. I've never seen this card before in my life. It's called Muck Drub. I guess it's a drub, but it's a specific kind of drub that lives in the muck. A Muck Drub, if you will. That's what we call it around here anyway. 3 black for a 3/3 beast with flash. When Muck Drub comes into play, change the target of target spell that targets only a single creature to Muck Drub. And it's got Madness for 2 and a black. So if you discard it, you can pay 3 mana, and because it has flash, the timing, you can just put it into play. Well, actually, timing doesn't even... I think Madness gets around timing restrictions anyway in a lot of instances. Point being, if someone's like, haha, I'm gonna dead your Poultice Sliver because you're tapped out of... Wait, no, you wouldn't be. This whole plan doesn't work. I'm going to dead your Wrathy Trapper. There. 2 damage to your Wrathy Trapper. Then you flash in your Muck Drub and you say, no, the 2 damage goes to my Muck Drub, who looks really sad about the whole thing. What are you? What are you? We've got 2 rares? I was like, that's 2 uncommons, so now a 3rd uncommon. But no, we've got 2 rares. I didn't even know that could happen in packs this old. This is from 2007. That's wild. Maybe, is this like a Planar Chaos thing that you're going to get like a normal rare and then a like Planar Chaotic rare? Because that's what's happened here. So I've got Dust Elemental, 2 white for a 6/6 with flash and flying and fear. When Dust Elemental comes into play, return 3 creatures you control to their owner's hand. So you've got to have 3 other creatures, otherwise you're just bouncing your Dust Elemental. But it's a 6/6 with flash for 4 mana and flying and fear, which was specifically can't be blocked by artifact creatures or black creatures. And they've put that on a white creature because this is clearly a set of we're just messing with stuff. Like I said, I don't think I've ever opened a pack of this. This is wild. There's some really like wacky stuff going on here in the pack of Planar Chaos. Okay, sure. And then our second rare is Gaia's Anthem, which is the color shifted to green Glorious Anthem from white. So this one's 1 green for an enchantment. Creatures you control get +1/+1. Cool. That's pretty nice. After looking it up, we've learned that the pack collation for these was unusual and always has a certain number of the time-shifted commons, which was the Healing Leaves and the Revered Dead and the Wrathy Trapper, and then 2 uncommons, and then a time-shifted uncommon or a time-shifted rare and a regular rare. But it's way more likely to get an uncommon, so getting double rare, pretty cool. My first pick is definitely going to be the Gaia's Anthem, just because having an Anthem in Limited is pretty cool. But in terms of like pack value, this pack's clocking in about $5.50, so you know it's nothing amazing. I would have thought the Gaia's Anthem would be higher, but I guess Commander hasn't discovered this amazing tech from 2007. Hey, thank you, Violet and Robin. Again, congratulations on your previous nuptials. And yeah, this was a lot of fun. Thanks for giving us a pack of Planar Chaos. I enjoyed opening it. Until next time, I want to thank Card Kingdom for sponsoring the program, and of course, to you and your kind support of our Patreon at patreon.com/loadingreadyrun, or becoming a member on this YouTube channel, because your support means the world to us, in that it lets us actually do all of this. Until next time, I have been Graham. James has been on tech. Matt edits these. Heather gets them online. Thank you all for watching. We'll talk to you next time.